Now tuned into the greatest.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whenever this message reaches you, listen to another episode of 6 Feet on the Podcast. I am your 5'9" host with sophisticated ignorance, Uncle Poochie. Yo, bro. Oh yeah, you clap it up.
I'm like, no.
I need the assistance. I'm sorry, I didn't even introduce you yet. Welcome back. I can't say welcome back because this is the first time you ever being here. So let me say this. If you're hearing this so clear, so perfectly, so effervescently, then you're hearing this because we at the Petty Cat Studios, y'all.
Gang, gang, gang.
Gang, 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 baby. Yes, I'm your 5'9" host, Uncle Poochie. Man, I can't put into words how happy I am to be here today. Man,
Moment of silence.
I might cry.
Just kidding.
Actually, I'm not crying. You might see some sweat dripping down the side of my head. I'm bald, y'all. I'm sorry. You get the little drippy drippies. I get sweaty. But yeah, we are back. The 6 Feet on the Podcast. It took a very long time, bro. Very long time for us to get to this point. But we are finally in a fucking studio. And before I run my mouth anymore, before I go on a tangent, let me introduce, if not one of the most important people, maybe the most important person in my world. She is my lady. She is my girl. She is my woman. Y'all may know her as the aunt. She's my future baby mama, Amanda B.
Ooh, what's going on, y'all? It is your aunt, Amanda B. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be in the studios. It's a long time coming.
Long time coming.
Because I've been your fan.
You've been my fan.
Before I was your wife.
Oh, you was. You was plotting on your boy.
Wife to come.
Yeah. See, ladies, this is what you got to realize. The man of your dreams is out there. You just got to stalk him.
Stalk him.
Stalk him,
girl.
If you got a wife, stalk him.
Okay, no.
If you got a girlfriend, stalk him.
No, he's lying.
If you stay with his mama, stalk him.
That part's true.
I did stay with my mama when she met me, so you know. But you were a fan. You are a fan, and I always appreciate that from you, sweetheart. Because not only are you a fan, I always love to tell people you're my homie, lover, and business partner. Mm-hmm. Extra emphasis on the business partner because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Be fucking up. Be fucking up. If you ain't got a good woman or good man, whatever your choice is, or a good day,
right?
A good day by your side.
Everybody respect, yes.
You're fucking up. I mean, pimping ain't easy, but sure as in love is harder. Okay, all right. I ain't pimping. I ain't doing none of that shit. I'm very happy. I'm very in love. My very first episode inside of a studio, I came to my senses and I said, who do I want on the very first episode? Like inside of a actual studio. Shout out to Petty Cat Studios again. Thank you guys. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Mark. And also shout outs to the homie Court Sesh. If y'all don't know her, check in with her. She has the Potty Mouse podcast, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. They smoke good over there. That's how I found these guys. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, I was like, damn, dog, I got to get back to my podcasting because the world's a funny place.
LA is a funny place.
LA is a funny place. LA is the world of some people. But I said to myself, because I'm narcissistic, they need to hear my opinion. They want to hear my voice. They got to hear my face. You got to see my face on some Clayton Bigsby shit. And so as I was sitting here thinking to myself, I said, who better to have on my first episode, my first polished episode than my fiance? So thank you, baby. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you for dealing with me.
Thank you for dealing with me. No, now let's move on because we could do this all day.
Yeah, we can, huh? They're going to be like, I don't want to hear this shit.
And be like, don't want to hear this.
Man, what? But yeah, this 6 Feet on the Podcast, man. We've been going since 2019. I can't believe it's been 6 years. When I first started this podcast, I was choosing my name, right? My name is it's a family name. Mm-hmm. So, you know this, but I have an uncle. I actually have an Uncle Poochie. I changed my name to Uncle Poochie to switch it up a little bit. But 6 years ago when I started this podcast, I didn't have a nephew or niece. So therefore I was not an uncle per se, right? And I used to think that they used to be cool because I was like, I'm putting myself in unk status, right? Like I'm 29 and like I'm going to be really an uncle. I'm going to be a cool ass uncle when I become one. But until then, I don't really relate to the young cats because at that point everybody was whipping and nay-naying. And I ain't gonna hold y'all. I stopped at the stanky leg. Like,
okay, show your age.
That's all I got.
That's
all I got.
What is that?
That's a stanky leg.
No, baby.
Not getting stanky?
That's not. Anywho.
Okay, sorry. Anyways, you get my point. So, I lied to us. I was 29 when I started my podcast. I was 27. I'm like, damn, hold on, bro. How old am I now?
You jumping? You
Man,
can't
listen.
already forget your age.
That's the status. So I thought to myself, man, that we gonna do a podcast, we're gonna do a polish. We gotta at least kind of take it back and talk about our names, yo. Cause you know, now we do some stuff around the city. I don't know if we need to say what stuff we do, but we do some stuff.
I'm a brand ambassador and what?
Yeah, I'm a brand ambassador too. That's what we tell the police. The police coming, we're brand ambassadors.
Right, I am a brand ambassador.
Yeah, facts. No, I'm just playing. But no, we work in the gardening industry, and people sometimes refer to us as aunt and uncle. You know, I don't like to say the word fans. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna be like fans because like it's more
the
like
community.
Community. There you
that
go.
We've built. I think pretty much everybody calls us the aunt and the uncle, baby.
I don't think anybody knows our real name.
Some people do.
But if they call me my real name, I get offended.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm like, why you call me my real name, bro?
Yeah,
you the police?
I don't think anybody really calls me my real name.
I think it's kind of like at that point when you find out what your mama's real name was.
Right.
Like your real name ain't mom?
It's not mom, huh?
Your real name ain't dad? I know so that went over a couple of y'all's head just in case y'all don't know your mom and daddy, but it's fine.
I mean,
hey, no shade to anybody. But nah, I love the fact that, you know, some people walk up to us and they're like, auntie. And I'm like, damn, fool, you don't even know my real fucking name. But it made me think like, you know, for this first episode, I was like, damn, we need to really talk to the people about the ups and downs of being an aunt and an uncle. Because I ain't gonna hold you. It ain't easy being this greasy. Okay? It ain't that goddamn soft trying to be this damn hard. I know y'all probably like, what the fuck you talking about? We're gonna get into that. But today, my fiance and I are going to share with y'all the ups and downs of how hard it is to be an aunt and an uncle. I personally feel like once y'all leave this episode, long draw, sorry.
Like, because you're doing an uncle jaw already.
Yeah, I got to do the uncle jaw. Once y'all leave this episode, y'all either fuck with your boy harder or you're going to be like, see, that's where I'm fuck with him. Either way, thank you for watching. So, go ahead and hop into these questions, my lovely fiance. First and foremost, what's your favorite part about being an auntie?
I would have to say my favorite part about being an auntie is really being able to laugh, because speaking about being an auntie back home from Sacramento.
Yeah,
shout out to Sacktown.
Shout out to
I am an
916.
auntie back home before I was the aunt in Southern California. And I think my favorite part was to laugh at you thinking that you're playing me or you're doing anything that I don't know what you're doing. That's probably my favorite part. And then giving, the auntie advice. And but my advice is a little different than some of the structure I got, because I'm not giving you any alcohol.
We're going to get into that later. The advice portion, we can probably
But
end
I
with
love give, auntie advice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a lovable auntie to everybody.
No. I think that's the cool thing about being an aunt and an uncle. Like, you're not for everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't fuck with all my uncles.
Yeah.
I didn't fuck with all my aunties.
Mm-hmm.
So if some nieces and nephews don't fuck with me, that's fine. Go fuck with your other uncle. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. I think, to your point, one of my favorite parts about becoming an uncle or being an uncle, because like I said, I wasn't an uncle when the show started, but now I am a physical uncle now. And one of my favorite things about being an uncle is just like you said, the wisdom, being able to now actually see certain things that's coming before they come. Because you younger, you in your 20s, in your teenage hoods, you like, man, I ain't see that coming. I ain't know that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I didn't come home at 3:00 in the morning, somebody was gonna be mad at me. Like, come on, bro. Like, so the little pieces of life that you've already lived that kind of like make sense now are like really the portion that makes me like proud of being an uncle. It's like having like foreshadowing wisdom that you didn't realize you would ever have. Because, when you was 15, 16 years old, I mean, even now at 32, I'm like, damn, is this ever going to make sense? But, at 16, you really like, is this shit ever going to make sense? So that's probably my favorite part about being an uncle. I'm not going to lie.
I think my other favorite part about being an auntie is I have the opportunity to probably change the stigma of like the cool aunt.
Yeah.
Like you said, we'll get to. But that's also like my favorite part about being an auntie, because, this is our time to kind of change and kind of be who we're going to represent and show who we could be.
Absolutely. Before we go any further, I'm so sorry. We got to shout out today's sponsor, good people over there at Wafers. I know you see us smoking. I know you probably agree or disagree with us smoking. I will tell you this. You can disagree with the smoking. You can agree with the smoking. But either way, I'm not going to stop. So it doesn't matter. Man. Shout outs to Wafers, the good people over there. They got their 14-gram flour that we smoking on today. Actually, we smoking on their rosin joints.
Smoking on the rosin joint.
Check them out if you ever see them around. Wafers Lights got a bedly, I'm sure I said that wrong, but they got a bunch of savory flavors to put on your tongue pieces. I know some of y'all be like, I don't like outdoor. I don't smoke stuff that come from the sun. I here to tell you this. If you don't smoke something that come from the sun, use a bum. Shout outs to Wafers Lights. Do yourself something right. Anyways, back to our regular scheduled program. Yeah, man, I ain't gonna hold you. I thoroughly enjoy being an uncle. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said earlier, I jumped into uncle status before I technically had a nephew. And it was funny because I got backlash from people. Like they were like, when I would tell them my name, I'd be like, hey, my name's Uncle Poochie. And they would be like, uncle, like, And I'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, I'm not calling you that. You'd have thought I was like cursing their mama out or some shit, right? And I found it funny, like any person who told me they wouldn't call me Uncle Poochie or wouldn't call me Unc or did not like my name, most of them aren't in my life anymore. And it's crazy, right? Because we make fun of people all the time. Not we, I shouldn't say we, but people make fun of people all the time about like what they want to be called or what they want to be identified as. And it was like, I just wanted to be identified as an older male. And people still have problems with that. And that taught me right then and there as I was transitioning into Unc status that people are always gonna have a problem. Yeah. With anything. Whether it's something that's harmless or something that's just you want to be called. Like they're gonna have a problem with it. So if people gonna have a problem with it, why bother? You know? I think that's another testimony to getting into uncle status and auntie status. Because when you're younger, you, at least if you were like I was, you were bothered about so many things. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, how people perceived me and how I looked. I mean, do I still care to this day? Yeah, obviously. You gotta have some to a level. Yeah, to a level. But like to the level of which I previously cared, nah. And that's the beauty of getting older, man. Like really, I mean, you hear the jokes, like you get older, you start letting no fucks given, but it's really no fucks given. I mean, how many fucks can I keep trying to stuff in my bag if I'm trying to live years and years on? Like you got it. Once you get to your aunt status, because it's really how your gut is and how you were raised and things of that sort. Because I'm just an old soul. You're an older soul. You had to become older anyway. Hey man, you brought up a good thing that I wanted to ask you about. I didn't write this down in the question, so sorry, it's gonna throw you for a loop. But you said in your soul and your gut. What was the first thing that you ate that your gut said, bitch, you ain't young no more? Bitch, not you, bitch, but like it was me to me, bitch. Wait, bitch to me. It's not a bitch to you, because I really, bitch. No, I was at somebody's house and I ate some cereal. But they had the blue top. The blue top milk. And I never had the blue top. I barely drank milk as a young person anyway, but my grandma bought the red top milk. Oh, your grandma was with the different. Vitamin D milk. Your grandma was different. So I ate some cereal with the blue top. By the time I still had cereal in my bowl, and I was like, "What is going on?" Stomach started beatboxing. Yeah, that, and then when I was like 21 or something, I ordered from Pizza Guys like every day. Shout out to NorCal, Pizza Guys. Shout out to North Cali. You got to know. You got to be I mean, Kings they have it out here. We just saw ain't nobody eating Pizza Guys in Southern California. You guys want to order some Pizza Guys? But like, what? And I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I'm waking up and I am not feeling good. It was just like, you can't eat how love my grandma, rest in peace, but how your grandma was feeding you, just like, girl. Well, when grandma was alive or when grandma was a child, like the food was the food. It was the actual that's Henry the cow. Then we eating Henry the cow. Exactly. The blue top milk, that 2% milk, took me out. I will say this to this day: if you drink that blue top milk, if you drink 2% milk, you are a dangerous individual, and I want nothing to do with you. I never drank that shit. I'm not arguing with you. You don't care about your life. If you drink 2% blue top milk after the age of 25, you're a strong person. You are like, you ain't switched to almond? You ain't switched to
Nothing.
almond.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even cheese, I can't eat no dang cheese.
Well, see, cheese is a tricky one because I mean, me and cheese, we gonna have a relationship no matter how bad my stomach don't like it. But yeah, I hear you on that. Now the milk though, that took me out. That took me out because my stomach was beatboxing like fucking Dougie.
It's just you have to pick and you gotta choose.
Yeah, nah.
It's not worth the suffer.
Unfortunately, and maybe this for another episode, but I knew I was getting into unk status when I couldn't bounce back from hangovers like I used to.
That's why we're sober.
I don't drink
32.
alcohol. Your uncle was an alcoholic for 7 years. Drank every single day for 7 years straight. And man, it was like my second to last year of being an alcoholic. I was like, I couldn't walk up the stairs at the Roseville Galleria. You guys ever go to the Roseville Galleria? You in NorCal, go to the Galleria Mall because ain't shit to do out there. No, I'm just playing, shit to do. But yeah, I was walking up the Rosie Galleria Mall with my pops and I'm wheezing. You thought I did some damn, some running.
Some training.
Nah, bro, I just walked. And I was just like, yo, I need to chill out. I can't even walk upstairs, but nah, that was when I realized like, yo, son, you unk status now.
Yeah.
The stomach ain't what the stomach used to be.
Okay.
The butthole ain't what the butthole used to be.
Let it go.
Man.
What she say?
Not in that case. I don't think I should let it go. That was a problem. I was letting go too much.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Don't touch that.
Don't touch that. Okay.
Shoot.
All right. So, we get this question a lot because we are childless.
Okay.
So you know where I'm finna go with this.
Nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with being childless. If you got kids, that's great. If you don't got kids, that's great.
Auntie love you.
Yeah, Aunt love you. But I'm sending your ass back. Shout outs to you, Jalen. I love you, man. Nah, but now that we are trying to say this as respectfully as possible, we're not young.
So?
We're not old. We're experienced.
Oh yeah.
Seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
People ask us all the time, when are you guys going to become parents?
Right.
Do you feel any pressure of becoming a parent now that we're like in our 30s? Yeah, I'm trying to hide our age.
I'm not hiding my age.
I already said it, so I don't know why I'm trying to hide it.
What are you doing? Yes, I absolutely feel pressure because one, we've been together for a long time. We business partners. We do everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Together, which we can be apart because people would swear we just can't be apart. Anywho, we already got the question. Yeah. Because we are pursuing in our wedding celebration soon. Yep. And people think because we have a wedding celebration, they're gonna be like, where the kids? This is not 1999. You need to back up away from me. Okay? This ain't 1963 because heifers couldn't have a bank account. And you want me making butter.
I just think it's crazy. Like,
which I can't make
I'm
butter.
Not going to say no names, but I just be thinking it's crazy like how some cats be asking me about having kids. And the way they phrase it makes me not want to have kids. They like, when you going to put a baby in her? Like, what?
Yeah, what is up with that?
Like, bro, this ain't a let go. Like, this ain't something I just play with. Like,
when I could pay the rent and didn't notice that the rent came out.
Yeah.
And this is not a judgment to anybody who has kids. I have friends with hella kids. Absolutely. I have family members. Like, I'm dang near the last Mohican without the children.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I think kids are a beautiful thing for the right people.
I think a lot of you shouldn't be parents, though. That's a whole...
Oh, I know a whole bunch of folks who shouldn't be parents.
Fondue dip.
Oh, man, I know so many people that, they should have been swallowed so their children wasn't made. But that's, again, another conversation.
And is that for me to say? If you judging me on why I don't have kids... I'm not going to be like, because you a shitty parent. I'm just going to say that.
Well, the thing is like, shout outs to the homie, Canada, Megan Better, right? She says this all the time, right? Yeah. She's like, just because I don't have children, don't mean I can't comment on your parenting skills.
That's why I don't have children, primarily because it's not like the parenting was just popping. Respectfully. Like, it's not like anybody should have had such care.
I don't know, like,
respectfully.
That is funny. I agree with you on that because I come from a 2-parent household. Luckily for me, my parents, embodied what it looked like to be a married couple in America trying to remain married. Not everybody I knew coming up had that. You know, some people, you know, for whatever flaws or ups and downs that I grew up with, at least my daddy came home. You know what I'm saying? My father openly loved my mother. You know, my mother loved my father back. But I know a lot of cats whose parents did not put out the best example of parenting. And instead of running away from that and being like, let me be a better parent, they decided to just do like mom and daddy did. And that is really, like you said, that is a driving force behind me and you being an aunt and an uncle. Like, I don't necessarily think we be the perfect parents. Like, you know, like I know we have flaws, but like, let me have some flaws with some money. Like, let me have some flaws with the ability to put this little motherfucker through therapy. Let me have some flaws where, like, you know, at least there's options.
It's my choice, though. Your choice was to have kids.
Yeah.
So why you all up in my mix? Because you want me to struggle with you? So you can go tell my business?
See, that'd be the craziest thing about certain parents. So certain people be asking us about having kids. I do be wondering if they be like mad or like, and this is weird. And again, sorry if this is touching too close to home, whoever watches this.
We're sorry.
We're sorry, but I ain't talking about you. But I do wonder sometimes when people ask us about having children, are they like trying to make us miserable like them? Because like I know some parents who are happy.
The happy people aren't asking us is what we're saying, basically. I got
outside
my auntie
like,
pants on right now. Shoot.
Outside of like just simply inquiring, like, hey, Pooch, are you and Auntie gonna have kids anytime soon? No. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But like the ones who just push.
Well, the ones that look at you when you say, like, you know, maybe or possibly in the next couple of years, we're trying to do X, Y, and Z. We express the plan we have. And because your plan was to have a kid, you looking at me. You need to get out of it. You need to unlearn some things. And I have no problem educating you on that.
See, I know what's going to happen, right? If me and you ever choose to have a child, they're going to bring this shit back up. They're going to try to throw it in our faces.
Because we said all we say is we don't have kids. And then when they say, are you going to have some? We say,
I don't know, maybe.
Possibly.
I like her.
Yeah, no,
she cool, you know.
He cool. We know we can eat together.
Yeah.
Like, you guys
good living. Yeah,
and yeah, just don't. I very much do feel pressured because we've been asked it, and even like friends that I didn't even think would have a kid had a kid, and now they parents asking me.
I think that'd be the funniest, not because it's mainly not my friends or people my age, and it's like parents of people's. Friends, like friends' parents, I would say. Like my immediate family, like nobody asked me, is Pooch having kids anytime soon? We got enough kids running around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And not saying that we can't have some more. We can. Like, shout outs to my family members that have children. You know, I love them. But like, we got enough going on that it's like, yo, Pooch, if you have children, if y'all don't have children, it's totally fine. Like, but like, it is that awkward thing when we go back home and you see somebody's friend, you know, mama, and they're like, hey, y'all ain't got no babies yet?
That's what happened to me before I moved here. I went to the grocery store and I saw somebody's parent.
Yeah.
And they didn't even say hello. I said, oh, hey, so-and-so. She said, hey, and she looked behind me like, you ain't got no babies? And I was just truly disgusted at such requests. Because even at that time, I was doing goddamn terrible. So I am appalled. I don't appreciate the pressure at any level, but because we're getting older, you acting like I gotta go freeze my eggs or something.
Man, what?
Like I do, you know.
It's again to answer the question myself too. Do I feel pressure? Yes, but I only feel the pressure of, I guess, wondering if I'll regret not having children, because the idea of having a kid is so mundane to me. Only because I could adopt, you know, we could do so many things to bring this in our lives. But like, if we just choose not to do it at all, will I be 65, 75 years old and thinking like, damn, I actually could have did that?
Yeah.
I will say right now, that answer is no, because check this out, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a little feedback. Me and your auntie been living in LA. She been living here since 2020. I've been living here since 2021. We just got to the point where we could afford going on a trip, coming back, and not being in a po house. I'm not saying that to brag. Jamaica was fun as hell.
It was very
But
fun.
the stress mentally that took on my brain when we were saving to do that, I was like, bro, I'm so glad this is the only thing I technically need to stress about. I am a stressor and I'm a worrier. I know these things about myself. I don't need to lie about it. I know who I am. So having a child will only make my anxiety shoot up.
Right. You're worrying.
So if and when I feel like worrying 24/7, 365, maybe I'll talk to you about wanting to have a child. But as of right now, I worry enough about you.
It's a plan of action.
I just worry enough about my day-to-day before I can even be worried about the nonsense that goes on in the world. Because I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Uncle Poochie, I'm a nice man. But if I have a baby and your baby's fucking with my babies,
yeah,
I'm gonna fuck your baby up.
It's off-site.
I'm gonna fuck your child up. I'm gonna fuck you up.
It's off-site.
First
It's on-site.
for fucking with my child.
It's on.
And I don't think that's a threat.
It's on and popping.
That's a promise. What the hell? What the helly? Not my baby. Ah, man. So, yeah, sorry.
I mean, I still roll up as an auntie. My niece, I done rolled up to my niece's school a couple times.
I luckily...
And I'm not bragging about that. I'm telling you, I don't play about mine.
My siblings, I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite older than my siblings. So, like, I feel like I've always been uncle/dad for a very long time. People who know me know what I mean by that. But, like, yeah, I've definitely rolled up on a couple of kids with my brother.
I mean, my auntie rolled up to my school. My
I may have or may not told a young man that, you know, you may not make it to next weekend if you keep fucking with my brother. I don't know. Maybe.
May or may not.
May or may not.
You can't confirm.
Can't confirm. Nor can I deny it. Anyways, moving along. So we kind of talked about this earlier, but do you feel like, since we are in our 30s and most people have kids around us, do you feel like it's harder to make friends that now that we have most of our people around us are parents? Like, do you feel like a unicorn or to a sense, like it's a uniqueness, or are you just like, nah, man, like, nah, like people embrace my situation and it's all good?
No, I don't feel. I mean, I don't really feel like it's hard to make friends with people with kids. No. Sometimes I don't even know they have kids until I find out they have kids, which is fine.
And some of y'all be having children, y'all be hiding harder than Drake.
About kids.
That's so crazy.
Like that. Yeah, I don't be like, fuck them kids and shit like that.
Hey man, look, you say fuck them kids, nigga turn around and be like, I lost custody of my child.
You know, and I mean, I already work in the detox world, so I don't even need that on myself.
Shout outs.
I don't think it's hard to make friends with kids. I think it might be harder to maybe link up if you don't have the proper, security.
I think that's the two sides of that coin, right? It's difficult for me now because, men and women friendships are different, you know, because usually the kids are always with their mama. If they're not, at home.
Are we hanging out with the kids?
So y'all hanging out with the kids. Usually men ain't got custody of their kids or, it's on some part-time stuff. So I don't really have immediate friends in the area that we live in that have kids. I have one good homeboy back in Sacramento. Shout outs to him, PK. You know who he is. He has a couple kids, but whenever he comes to LA, he always, makes time to hit me, and we, we get to sit back and chill like we're in high school. Not like we're in high school, but just catch up, right? But for the most part, most of my homies, my close homies, like they don't have children, and the ones that do, it is very interesting because it's not I don't know, and this is where your uncle's always offensive. I don't know who I'd much rather hang out with, a person who's a dad or a person who's a single man. Now I'm gonna say this: there's upsides to both of them. There's upsides to both of them. The dude that's a dad, because I like to go to sleep pretty damn early. He gonna usually turn in like, hey man, listen, we got soccer practice, man. We got soccer practice. I gotta get out to soccer practice. That shit, right? And I'm like, cool, man. Carrie's calling your name anyway. Bye. But my single homies, when I get to go out with them, they remind me why I'm so happy not to be single. And I'm just like, damn, is it cool to sit back and play video games and talk dumb shit for hours upon hours? Great. I'm ready to go home to my woman, though. I'm gonna go home to my woman. So that makes it kind of difficult in making friends with men who have kids, because I get it, dude. My friends that are dads, I respect their time.
Yeah.
When you say you can only hang out Tuesdays and Wednesdays,
Mhm.
I would never hit you up on a Saturday and be like, hey man, come out to the Shake a Booty Club,
No.
baby. They going crazy up in here. 369. Like, nah, like I'm not hitting you up
They
for
got
that, bro.
dollar wings.
Yeah, like they got dollar chicken wings. Like, nah, bro. And so I like that. But then sometimes I'm not gonna lie, to a certain extent, I don't relate.
Yeah.
You know, because they're fathers. So I'm
Mhm.
just like, I have to kind of remind myself that it's like nothing wrong with me in anything like that. And which again, I don't find anything wrong with me, but it's just like when we're speaking upon such things, you know,
Mhm.
I'm like, damn, I'm not a dad. So I either one, don't see it like that, or two, I don't have to consider that. And then when I go with my single friends, I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna take my ass home.
You're learning yourself.
Learning myself.
And I think that's okay as an adult.
Yeah.
That is why sometimes I feel it's offensive
Mhm.
for people to question me on why I don't have children. If you chose to have kids, that is completely fine. Your kid's a blessing.
Yeah.
But because we do not have kids, we continue to have our plan.
And another thing I just want to put on the front street, because I'm surprised neither of us have said this yet. But just because we do not have kids,
It doesn't.
now go ahead, finish the statement. You
It
know what I'm
doesn't
gonna say.
mean we not struggling or there's not specific things that set us back, because in reality, we came out here for a full goal. The goal wasn't to raise a kid in Southern California in the middle of LA. I didn't come here for
No, I
that. I
didn't
didn't
come for
come
that.
here to
No.
start
No.
a
Absolutely
family
not.
in LA.
I would stay in
I'm
Sacramento.
sorry.
If I was coming to start a family, I would say
I'm
Sacramento.
from the city where you can go ahead. Half of my class is doing wonderful
Wonderful.
in Sacramento with their house and their jobs
Mine
and
too.
their families.
Mine too.
And that's beautiful, but that wasn't in my cards.
No.
After I almost died multiple times due to my own alcoholism, I'm done.
I don't want to keep harping on the kids thing. I just want to make it known again, because this episode is about me being the uncle, you being the aunt, and just expressing and explaining, you know, the whole
was
reason
we
of us
talking
being
too
there.
much about the kids?
No. I just because the kids thing is why we are the aunt and uncle, right?
Yeah.
But I just, like I said, I wanted to tap back around to like, hey, because you know, people automatically just assume when you don't have kids, you're making all this shmoney.
Yeah.
You're saving all this shmoney.
They actually don't give me
They don't
any
give me no
money.
shmoney.
They take a lot out of my check because I don't have
maybe
kids.
I need to have kids. So we keep some of this
Like,
money on.
good golly.
God damn,
Anywho,
man.
they gave, yeah.
Just again.
Look at that. We over here like, oh, child.
Just
shoot,
reminiscing.
ooh,
Like, ooh,
goodness golly.
you can't even get EBT. Nah, man, that's nah. It's crazy because it's just like you dead ass do have to tell people like, bro, just because I don't have children, like, bro, I'm not rolling in the dough, and like life isn't just this big ass like party at all times. But yeah, whatever, man.
Or
Yeah.
the one more thing though is
Mhm.
if you're not a parent, they think that you like wrong for not staying outside. I don't want to be outside unless am I making money?
So let's go ahead and clear up this myth. Let's clear up this myth right now. Just because you do not have children does not mean you need to take your ass outside. I mean, listen, Shein is popping, your Fashion Nova is popping. This is going for everybody who likes to dress up. I like to cut a rug. Unfortunately for me, my job is outside. So if you see me outside, I'm probably getting paid. Not a lot, but I'm getting paid.
Right.
But I don't want to go to the club.
No.
Because like, you know, that is crazy. Like how many people, they'd be like, man, if I was in y'all's position, I'd be at the Red Roof Inn every night. I'd be at Momo's Lounge every night. I'd be at Bar Club every night. Momo's Lounge, baby. Come on now. Shout outs to those who know Momo's Lounge.
And that's why I'm sober at 32 because
shout outs to everybody who's getting in Momo's Lounge. Between the years of 2012 through 2017, Momo's Lounge was going up, baby. Shout outs to your boy. Barcode, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Barcode, baby.
We don't care about none of that.
I don't remember Barcode, nigga. What you mean, bro? We was live and outside at Arden. Moving on.
Literally. Because I'm like, no.
Okay. All right. We in the middle of the episode. I just want to take a second again to shout out a couple of people because, again, this is a long time coming, y'all. This podcast means a lot to me. There's a lot of times I thought I was going to quit it. A lot of times I told myself I was quitting it. And by the grace of God, I didn't, because obviously I wasn't supposed to. So just like any other day, I'm thankful, but today I'm really thankful because we're recording in Petty Cat Studios. Shout outs again, Alice. Shout outs again, Mark. Appreciate y'all. I just want to shout out a couple of people too that, you know, oversaw me getting to this point Is that a way of saying that? I don't even know if that's a oversaw me.
Getting to this point.
Maybe it's the weed.
What,
Sorry,
like,
y'all.
witnessed you?
I just was there when I first started. You know the usuals, the the presence, the SMG gang, George in particular. Shout out to you, George. Thank you. C Dot, best friend, white man, homie me the wall gang. My boy Meezy, homie Rez, producer E, Texture Active people. Again, man, if I didn't get to meet these people, these were good people, and they helped me get here. So I just had to take a moment in the middle of the episode to thank y'all again. But back to it. So we are the aunt and the uncle.
In the flesh.
In the flesh. We also do stand-up comedy, if you guys didn't know that. You know, maybe you guys have known that because you laughed through this episode. Maybe you haven't. Maybe y'all watching the shit and it's like, this ain't funny. It's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool. But you mentioned earlier you work in detox. Mm-hmm. I work in various jobs. Mm-hmm. Being an aunt and an uncle, now, we aren't the youngest people at work. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We ain't the oldest people at work.
No.
How do you deal with coworkers now that you are in aunt status? Because my approach with my coworkers now in uncle status, day and night. Yeah. Day and night. My YN status, oh man. But uncle status, so I'll let you answer the question. I'll tell you how I dealt with it.
You know, I can honestly tell you that I think that in just a year, my approach has improved. Yeah. Because I would want to say probably last year was a little harder for me because I worked with and I managed an enormous amount of 21-year-olds. Mm-hmm. And I'm not bragging, but when I was 21, I worked in an office. Mm-hmm. And I have a work ethic. And I think what bothered me the most, or how I handled it, is I tried so hard to come and just be like let me give you the recipe. Let me give you a little bit of...
You was trying to hit them kids with the Badu-isms.
I was trying to give them some isms.
You realized what they needed was Turnerisms.
That was my first approach because that was my first real approach from being away from home because I'm, older of some, people I claim as my nieces.
Yeah.
So I was here and I was trying everything. My auntie is going to bring you... And I'm not I read on threads when they were like, don't talk to the auntie of the work crew because they shower you with gifts and then they get on your ass. Of course. Mm-hmm. But I took the approach of being more on the, let me school you, give you some game type of representation.
Yeah.
And then it ended up to being very stern and everybody forgot everything.
Yeah.
That I did.
Essentially, long story short, child, she was working retail with some young folks, and then she remembered why people hate young folks. Now, my thing is this, right? To peek back,
I tried to just...
Well, you try to lean in with love, and nothing wrong with that. But sometimes, the love ain't working.
But with representation though too, because they literally wanted to know how I got to where I got, and I literally showed you how I got there as well as tell you. So that's where I got offended. And then you have to learn that I can't let you know. Mm-hmm. So it was a little bit of check myself too.
See, my thing about that though is, like you said, with representation. And I told you, we spent many nights talking about this. My personal opinion is this. And I'm not saying this was completely how I was raised, but this is just how I decided to go about it. With younger people, and by younger people, I mean people between the ages of 19 to 25. Those young people. They are in the, what I call, you can lead a fool to a thought, but you can't make them think phase. Mm-hmm. Meaning, they're less of, you need to talk to them, and more of them, you need to show them. Yeah. I think, what the biggest problem was back when you were with those 21-year-olds, you were telling them good shit, but in showing them shit, they didn't want to see the good shit you were showing them. Mm. So it was like, don't even tell them. If they're not even gonna listen to you, then the good things you show them, they're not even gonna be appreciative of. Mm-hmm. So that's really the same way I've approached my thing now, is working like an uncle or working in unk status with people younger and people older than me. Because again, it's always different with men and women. Mm-hmm. I have learned now that I'm in unk status, definitely can't be as passionate off the brinks like I used to.
Yeah.
Because passion just automatically, I'm bald. I'm black. I'm bearded. Niggas think as soon as I get passionate, they see Charles from Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm talking to somebody younger, I try to show a little less passion and a little bit more compassion in my approach. And when I'm talking to somebody older, you know, I hate to say like this, even if they're like a year older, it's just stern. I'm just all around stern.
You have to,
you know,
be stern,
and it's like,
yeah.
shout outs to Mikey B. We love the homie Mikey B. He tells me all the time that it took me 2 years to be friends with you, man. It took me 2 years. Sorry, Mikey, if you like my impression.
That's how you sound.
But no, it took me 2 years to be friends with him because the sternness that I feel like you have to project as a man when you're trying so hard to, you know, one, be taken serious, and also know that what you're doing is serious, is like, it's just a 24/7, 365 thing. Now, do I want to be a hard rock when I really can't be a gym, which is dumb because that's a hard rock as well? No, I do want to be a gym. So it is important that I learned that it's not always about being hard or being, you know, threatening or being like, you know, I don't know, alpha. I hate using that term. But I learned in the workplace going into Unk status is more about being understanding. Because no one likes that fucking coworker who looks like he chews on bullets in the morning. Like, nigga, why are you angry at all times? Like, nigga, what you chewing on bricks? Like, what the hell wrong with you? So yeah, I don't think you were wrong for how you went about it with the kids last year. But what they did show me is that if you in the age between 18 to 25, I'm gonna let you go do dumb shit. 18 to 25-year-olds insist on being dumbasses. I will let them be dumbasses. They insist on making their life harder. I'm gonna let you make your life harder.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know,
if you want to get in the car with Tupac and Suge Knight after the Mike Tyson fight,
and you look at me and I shook my hand
and I do this, but you still get in the car.
Because I definitely, obviously,
I'm not going to ask Doe to let you out. Doe, let me out. No, keep him in the car. Keep him in the car, Doe.
I mean,
double entendres. Yeah. So, but that's that. All right, we almost up out of here. Let's see what we got in here. What we got in the bag of books? All right. Okay.
What?
Last two questions.
All right.
What is some of the best auntie advice you've ever given?
Some of the best auntie advice, I mean, I guess I was given was...
You can give it. You didn't have to. It ain't to be given to you. I said you've given. You can, or given to you. It's fine. Whichever one.
I mean, I think it's hard to say the best. I always used to try to advise that this too shall pass in the most least cliche way that could be. But like, I remember literally being like, okay, let me tell you my story. And then here I am, like, this too shall pass. Because I always wanted to try to give better advice than I feel like I was given by some adults that I do consider like my aunt, and like they weren't by blood, but they were by everything else relation wise. Yeah. So just always trying to encourage them, this too shall pass. Really putting yourself first. The cliche, because it's so true. And time flies. I was definitely told once I was turned 21 that time is gonna fly, and I blinked and I was 26 and I was fired from the same job. So,
for me, the best uncle advice I've ever given, and I was more so shown this through life, so I knew it was right when I gave the advice, was that in life, as a man, when the energy is mutual, business will always be good. And I know to some people that probably is like, well, what the fuck? But to me, that's such a big deal because as a man, we spend a shitload of time chasing things that serve us no purpose. We spend so much time chasing things that don't want us. And then we spend a shitload of time chasing things that aren't even real. And when you take a step back and you just kind of look around, you're like, man, was the energy ever mutual? Which I think that's a question most men don't even ask themselves. Like, is the energy mutual? I think because, and maybe it could just be me, but I think because a lot of men are in our own minds hunters. I say that in our own minds that we don't care if the energy is mutual, especially when we're younger. Mm-hmm. I want that. I'm going for it. And it's like, whether that be a job, whether that be a car, whether that be a relationship with whatever type of person you want to be with, just make sure it's mutual, bro. You know, not saying that it's going to be easy. Not saying that because you want it, it's got to want you back. But like, dude, like you can't be burning yourself at each end of the stick, because at the end of the day, like, you're going to need some time for you. You're going to need energy for you. You're going to need things that are going to make you happy. Now, that's always a catch-22, because the word selfish and young people go hand in hand. Right. But understand that energy must be mutual, young man, because if it's not, it's how you look crazy outside of the door. Stella! Like, dog, that ain't cute. I just want to say this again. I said it years ago that if you like R&B songs and you like R&B music, what they say in them goddamn R&B songs is false. That shit will get you thrown in jail, dog. If you do half the shit you hear on R&B music, young man, you're going to jail. Okay? So make sure the energy is mutual, because you don't need to be a goddamn R&B song. All right? And this is coming from, I love R&B. I love Ursha. I love A7012 or whatever the fuck the album was. But I'm just saying, brother, if you think she gonna let it burn, after you let it burn, she's gonna leave you. All right? Mm-hmm. So just don't, make sure the energy's mutual, man.
Well, leave that girl alone.
Leave that girl alone. Exactly.
Leave her alone. Leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
That's also advice I had to give last year too. I said, wow.
Leave them alone.
Leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
Don't fax them again.
Hey, man.
Don't do that again.
Yo, if y'all go through a breakup,
don't fax the person.
If the person blocks you on everything,
don't
and
fax
you try to fax them,
leave them alone.
Ain't that, I'm just gonna shut
Write that in your diary and reflect.
And don't even say that shit out loud. I faxed them.
I'm not laughing. I'm giving, that's some auntie advice.
Yo, that's crazy though. That's crazy. All right. So I say this question for last because it definitely, there's so many pieces of it that I just wanted you to choose one or two.
Right.
One.
What you say? I'm talking too much?
No. We gotta get out of here.
I know,
we pay for this now. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm just playing.
What's some of the worst advice, auntie advice you've ever been given or have given? Like, you look back on and you're like, man, that was probably some bad advice that they gave me, or I shouldn't have gave them that. Whichever one. I
mean, I was given some bad advice.
Give me one.
To have 2 boyfriends.
For what?
For 2 things. And I was 16 years old, and I just think that's so inappropriate. And I think that's so inappropriate. And when I do my reflection book and I have therapy, you know, that my therapist was like, that's not okay. And I was like, oh.
You go tell the people what the 2 things is?
The 2 things. Because one do something better than the other.
That's it.
I feel like that is some really bad advice.
So somebody's mama told you should have 2 boyfriends.
Yeah, because they did. Because one did.
They
also had 2 kids, and they literally said they had the kids because their husband wanted the kids. They didn't even like kids.
So hold on.
So
those
that's also bad advice she gave me.
She had 3. She
had 3 kids because she had a kid when she was 16.
No. I'm asking. So did she have a husband and 2 boyfriends?
Oh, yeah, that ended up happening, actually. But then she was telling me about her past. But that did actually happen. Yeah. So anyway, those was my, mentors, everybody.
Oh, my goodness.
She looked me dead in my face like, yeah.
Gotta have 2 boyfriends. Yeah. 2 different things.
And they said I don't even like kids. I had 3 of them. So
I'm too done booking. I think the worst advice I ever got from an uncle, I'm gonna go a little meta on this one. It wasn't actually my uncle. It was almost 3 years ago. It was the weekend we were about to get engaged. Mm-hmm. And I was in line at the rental car place. You know exactly what I'm finna say. And just that question comes up, hey, how's your weekend going, sir? And I told the people behind the counter, I was like, it's going well. I'm finna propose to my girlfriend this weekend. And everybody in the place kind of like clapped. They stood up, like, ah. And I was like, thank you. And there was one uncle. One uncle looking ass individual. He was leaning on the counter and he looked at me and he said, "You sure you won't do that? You sure you won't get married?" And I just stopped and I sat with myself for a second and I was like, damn, how did everybody in the room hear something and think how beautiful? And one person was like, "You sure?" And not that was bad advice. It was just like, that's more of like, what's that shit called? Projecting. It was like a projection. And as men, we do so many things to try to be perceived or projected as a certain way that, like, I knew I had found love, I had found happiness, I knew I found myself when nothing that I did was to satisfy the approval of any of my friends. Mm-hmm. And so that, to me, let me know when bro said, "Are you sure about that?" I was like, yeah, motherfucker.
Okay.
Duh. I love my lady. But that to me also let me know that I had finally arrived as a man, because something we didn't touch on yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but it shouldn't, because it's simple rocket science. But you can't become an uncle until you become a man. You can't become an auntie until you become a woman. I'm gonna say it. Now you guys can argue about genders and all that. I ain't got time for that.
I don't.
But truly becoming an uncle was the dream, because I knew I would have to somewhat accomplish becoming a man first. Mm-hmm. And that's why I was so proud to be an uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I could have been a dad before I was an uncle, right? But that still didn't make me a man.
You could have been a sperm donor.
I could have been a bunch of stuff. And so it's just like, now that I know that I'm an uncle, I'm a man, I'm my own man. Does it make life easier? Fuck no. It makes it so much harder. Mm-hmm. I got nobody to blame. Mm-hmm. I got nobody to lean on. Mm-hmm. But I'm happy about that, because I know who I am and I know where I am and I know what we are and I know what we're about. But yeah, when it comes to bad advice, yeah, just being in a state of mind of having to worry about the approval of my homies. I don't got like one piece of advice.
Or your homies' parents.
Or my homies' parents, or just people who ain't paying my bills. You know? Just was the bad advice. It was just overall bad advice. Pooch had to learn how to trust Pooch. Mm-hmm. Pooch had to learn how to get jiggy with Pooch. Mm-hmm. And that's all that was. So, sorry. I would say that with that being said, my bad advice was any piece of advice that I took over my own.
I mean, yeah, your good gut. Yeah. Yes, I mean, gut. Somebody's mother told me not to date you.
Somebody's mama did tell you.
Because you worked at the dispensary.
Somebody's mama told her. And hey, shout outs to you. Hey, I know you probably will watch. Or you probably won't. It's fine. It's cool. But yeah, somebody told her not to date me because I had a bad job or something. Not even I had a bad. I just had a bad paying job. That's what it was.
Dispensary.
Okay, yeah, I was a dispensary worker. Now that's funny, man, because I think when people look at anybody's lives, right, we all think, man, they got it so good.
Right.
They got it so good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love my life. I love my wife, but this has not been an easy journey. It's taken us damn near 2 years just to get here. Just to be able to pod in a room with cameras and fancy shit. Mm-hmm. And I give all the glory to God, homie. You know? I don't think I did any of this on my own. If I didn't have the help of you and the very few, we wouldn't be sitting here today. Mm-hmm. And so, to be back, to have the 6 Feet Under podcast back, to have it back with you, because you was on it last year. Mm-hmm. And
when I was a dispensary
manager. We didn't say you was my fiance on that
we
episode.
talked about being a brand ambassador too.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that on another episode, because we'll be back. This is gonna be a common thing. Back. Yes. But
updates.
Anything else you want to tell the people, want to share with the people before we go?
I just want to let everybody know that shout out to all the aunties and all the uncles, all the good aunties, all the aunties and uncles that don't show up for a very, very good reason. Shout outs to you too. Thank you for joining the 6 Feet Under podcast, and follow your girl, the aunt, at Amanda B. And don't pressure people to have kids. Shout outs to you.
Yeah, she said it pretty well. Do not pressure people to have kids. No, don't ask people where the kids at. You know,
Don't tell people not to date certain people and you don't like your husband.
Oh my goodness! Don't give marriage advice
You don't like your marriage.
if you don't like the person you sleeping next to.
Yeah, I'm not taking advice from people who don't like their life. That was a big thing. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah, that we gonna have to bring another
That's a
couple that
great
like you.
topic.
We gonna have to bring a couple on here that like their spouse.
Yes, we need.
Because a lot of y'all be married or
Don't
in
like
relationships
each
and y'all
other.
don't like they
I
sleep
can't do
together.
it.
I don't know how you do it. How do you kiss him?
Get away
How do you
from
kiss her?
me.
You don't like her?
Get
It's crazy.
away from me.
You just needed to have somebody?
Get
That's wild.
away from me.
I'm being petty
Get
now, so I'm gonna shut the fuck
away
up.
from me.
But it is Petty Cash Studio, so I guess this is the best place to be petty.
You know, and at the ending, we're ending.
I know. I'm like, damn it, y'all made it this far. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Me, myself, I don't got much going on. Well, I'm not lying to these people. I don't got much going on. I'm about to get married. If you're watching this, by the time you watch this, I'm sure I'm already married. I'm married to this nice lady over here. I don't know why she married me. I guess she liked me because I'm bald. She had a Tupac fetish.
I love Tupac.
She loves Tupac. Nah. But no, if you guys watching this, I've already gotten married, and I just want you to know that thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back to the podcast. Thank you for, just being here, man. 6 Feet on the Podcast was started in my mom's basement, my mom and dad's basement. Well, I always say mom's basement, like I'm damn near Eminem at the beginning of 8 Mile. But nah, 6 Feet on the Podcast was started in my parents' basement, man. And I needed something to help me. I was just like any person watching this. I was working a job I fucking hated, living in a situation prior to moving back in with my parents, living in a situation I fucking hated, hanging out with people, not all of them, but most of them I fucking hated. So to going from recording on my cell phone in my mama's basement to recording in front of 3 cameras, I mean, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like this episode, this podcast, all of this, me moving here, this shit wouldn't have been possible without the people who were watching this because, I got the messages, good and bad. I got the encouragement, good and bad. I also saw the hating. Even if you thought I didn't, I saw it. But all the energy, whether it was good or bad energy, was necessary because everything for anything to happen has to start somewhere. And I just started with a cell phone in my mama's basement. And we'll be married. For those who attend our wedding ceremony that know, thank you. Again, by the time this comes up, either that event will be a past or about to pass, one of the two. If you didn't get an invite, my bad. It's hard out here for a pimp. Shit is expensive. But if you did get an invite, you better give me a gift. Matter of fact, this episode dropping before the event. Just so look, I'm telling you right now, I'm dropping this episode before the event. If you watching this and I see you at my thing and I say, hey, did you like the episode? And you go, yeah.
We not asking for a lot. I put gift cards on our registry.
Come on, baby. Simple.
I don't feel like it's greedy.
No, I don't feel like it's greedy either.
Our life is beginning.
But yeah, man, I just, again, before we get out of here, I want to thank the last group of people I wanted to thank, which is my aunt, my fiance's family, the Castlemans, great people. Regardless of where we are in life, we always are with you, as I know you all are with us. Thank you for helping create and raise such a beautiful woman. I never thought in a million years that I would find my equal. So that was, amazing. And to think we met on a dating app, y'all. A whole nother story for a whole nother day because we got to get out of here, though.
Move on.
Thank you to my family. Thank you to the Johnsons. Thank you to the McDonald's. Thank you to the Alexanders. All of it, man. My family in Memphis, my family in Louisiana, my family in Texas, my brother on the East Coast, my sister in Nashville, my parents up in Sacramento. Like, none of this shit is possible without any of y'all. And last but not least, I want to thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too.
I appreciate you. And to you all listening to this, please remember to allow the peace to kill the evil that is coming within you. Until next time, y'all, I'm out.